When I was a teenager, I was really unhappy. I felt like I didn't fit in. I felt like I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go and who I wanted to be. And every single time I meet a teenager and I talk to them about their feelings, about their worries, their anxieties, their future thoughts, they just may as well be returning my own from those days gone by. And that's because I think that part of the human condition is that we're bringing kids up in a society where they literally don't have time to think about who they are, what they want to be, and they don't feel that they have any control over what they think their life should roll out like. And the reason I was saying that is I've got two teenage boys. One of them's doing his GCSEs this year, and the other one is basically just kind of going through school thinking, why am I here? What am I doing this for? I don't really like any of these subjects. I don't really get any of this stuff, and I don't really know what I want to do or be. And even my elder boy who's doing his GCSEs and thinks he wants to be a doctor, he is struggling with a system that he just feels is so outdated. I mean, I remember when I was at school feeling exactly the same. So I wanted to just suggest to any of you who are going through major changes in your life, like GCSEs this year, A-levels, maybe you're finishing your degree or masters, and you're just kind of growing into that young adult where everyone is asking those questions. Oh, so what do you want to be? And what are you going to do next? And what's your life going to look like in 15 years' time? And you're sitting there trying to answer questions that you have no idea to answer of, because you literally don't know what's going to happen next week. You don't know what's going to happen to you next year. You don't know who you're going to meet, how your life is going to have transitions and changes and opportunities. Who knows whether you'll even like the things that you've studied in the long term. And that's the bigger part of what I'm talking about today. The one thing that every young person should be taught, and we don't do it, is to follow what makes you happy. And the reasoning behind that is every single child has a natural tenacity, creativity, imagination in certain areas. You know, I look at people who love cooking, as in professionally, and I think, how on earth does that make you feel inspired? But I watch chefs do that, and it really inspires them. Or I watch people who teach nursery kids, and I'll think, wow, how do you amount to have that much patience? But the truth is they do, because they have a natural inclination for patience. And it's the same with people who are artistic or technological. It's about finding the one thing that makes you stand out, and every single human being has got something that makes them stand out. And if you don't know what that is yet, just ask yourself, when do I feel the most content? It might be you feel the most content when you're playing on your gaming with your mates at night. So that means you have a natural feeling towards gaming or coding or working in IT. So there are things that you are being given message-wise by the things that you do activity-wise that can influence your future. If you love being out in the trees and climbing and playing with your mates outside, then you're being told there is something about you needing to follow an active route with your employment, and so on and so forth. All the years we are educated away from our natural inclination on the whole, unless we're very lucky and it turns out that we love maths and science, or that we find ourselves a natural artist. And even then, you have to jump through hoops and tick boxes that really you don't fit. But the one constant, if you let it grow, is your natural abilities and gifts, and you will have them there within you. And they may not look as big or as grand or as loud as other people's. They may not seem as obvious to you, but just think about what makes you happy. Think about times where you felt content. Think about the things that reminded you of your worth, because that's where it begins. And from then onwards, you might have to jump through some hoops, tick some boxes, or you might decide that that's not for you. One of the biggest lessons I learned is that I was living someone else's blueprint. It was a blueprint of conformity. It was one that somebody else created, however many hundreds of years ago, and it didn't work. So I stopped. So if you're listening to this now and you're confused and you're concerned and you don't feel you're doing as well academically as anybody else and everybody else, well, just feel okay, because that means that you were just like me. And the truth is, the minute I stopped trying to be like everyone else, the minute I stopped trying to fix all those other boxes, everything got easier. You have two routes in life, to follow someone else's path or to create an alternative and follow your own. And the one that you create, you can never mess up in. You can never go the wrong way because it's only you who's driving it. But at the end of the day, wouldn't you rather find your own destination? Certainly, the happiest people I know, that's what they've done.